Hello and welcome, everyone. I have a reading here for your soulmate. We got into lots of details. We also did pendulum at the end for eye color and hair color. Did tons of oracle cards. We have my new tarot deck here. I also have some new oracle decks that I was using for the first time in a recorded reading. So, very excited, very happy with how it went. As with all readings, always take what resonates, leave what doesn't. If you go through a reading and it's just not feeling like it's speaking to you, go ahead, come back to the beginning here. Take another deep breath. Choose between groups 1, group 2, and group 3. I will put the timestamps below for your group. But other than that, I hope that you enjoy this reading. All right, so if you chose group 1, then this reading is yours. So we'll start off with the tarot cards that came up for your soulmate. So they have the Advisor. This is the High Priestess, Ace of Roses or Wands, the Producer or Magician. They also have Ace of Rings and Five of Flutes or Cups. All right. So for your soulmate, I see this person being very resourceful, someone who takes what they have to create really what they want. They're a very driven person. I also think they're really detailed oriented, and I think they like to plan and to help out, being this like orchestrating things, planning things. And I definitely think too, this will be the person that plans your first date, takes that initiative, has like all these things lined up, and really wants to make it like the best first date. I do think this person's very outgoing in public. I think they stand out. However, I also get the feeling that they're very serious and that they like their alone time and downtime. So it might be that outwardly they have this, and it's not even that they're fake. I think they're just very, potentially too, it could be for like a job or a position where it requires them to have this like outgoing personality. They're very like talkative. And then they come home and it's like, all right, I just want to relax and, stay in. And that's what they prefer. But then when they step out, it's like this, like, very, like, just getting talkative and bubbly. And yeah, they definitely stand out. They're the person that's in that room that they're like, they could talk to anyone. I think that this person is in touch with their emotions, with their thoughts, even if it's delayed in conveying that to others. And I do think when they mess up, they do eventually acknowledge it. And I think there's someone who they show their love through items and through giving. But I do think there's someone that once they acknowledge it, once they're like, hey, I messed up, hey, this is how I feel, hey, this, is what I'm looking for, is some boundaries, they want to move on from that. They're not going to linger on this. I do think that I think you're going to be going on very fun dates with this person, especially in the beginning of the relationship too. And I don't know why I'm getting this person loves starting projects, even though they might not always finish them. I think that they're really interested in a lot of things, and they love to explore it and learn it, even if they're not a master in everything. What's that saying? If I think of it, I'll put it here somewhere. But they have a little bit of knowledge in a lot of things that they're interested in and they like to explore, but they might not necessarily follow through on everything or become, totally invested in just one thing. They do enjoy multiple projects and exploring new things. Awesome. Well, I have lots of cards, so let's keep moving on. Let me just readjust this really fast here. All right, we have lots of cards and then pendulums to get to, so we will move on to some oracle cards. So they do also have Ursula Kemp, Family and Pentacle, Fortune. And I'm like at this feeling this person loves animals and caring for others. I think they're a very reliable person too. And along with that, I think they're someone who makes the most of what they have. They are very think they're very intuitive. I'm just getting they're very in touch with what they want, with their thoughts. And again, they might not outwardly express those deeper ones with everyone or very easily, but they do have it within them and they understand it themselves. They might not just be wanting to give that information out so freely to others, if that makes sense. And we had 4 oracle cards come up with this as a brand new deck for me, and I think it's absolutely beautiful. And so they have soulful, tranquility, luminous, luminous and radiant. Yeah, okay. So I definitely think this person stands out. I think they have this really nice, like just a glow from the inside. And I also, too, kind of potentially a guide for others, but someone whose past has helped them learn and grow, that they've taken these lessons to heart and they've used them for the better. Even if they're still in this process, they are using what they have, using what has happened, using everything that they have to their best advantage, to grow from it, to learn from it, to become to really driven is just what I'm getting to from this person. And I also feel like they're really well connected with animals. A lot of birds here, little baby owl. So very wise. And I think this person, when you get to know them, so what I'm getting is that they are very outwardly, if you're in like public or when you first meet them at their job, potentially, they seem very, very outgoing, potentially a little silly, or maybe like they don't take things as serious. However, once you get to know them, they have this really nice deepness to them, a really nice understanding to things. And they are a very serious person. However, it's just kind of like they only let certain people see that side of them. So, potential jobs for this person could be I'm getting like a healer or a guide. So, potentially, healing in like a medical way or a therapist, emotional guide too. It could be someone who even if their job doesn't include necessarily like a guide, they are someone who takes on a position where maybe they mentor others or they are in like a seniority level where they have people underneath who they are helping within their own career paths or within those those positions. Could also be working with animals too, I'm getting. But definitely a job that requires a lot of patience, kindness, and tons of communication too. Awesome. Well, we do have more oracle cards, so let's keep going. Let's see what else pops up. We do have here the porcupine, boundaries. Yeah. So this person, I think of this actually, what I'm getting is it's going to be let's say a slower relationship or a longer relationship to build. I think this person is really slow to truly let others in, but I do think there's a reason. I think they have boundaries set up for a reason. But when they do let someone in, when they finally let you know, like, hey, this is on a deeper level how I'm feeling or what I'm looking for, it's the real thing. Like once you're in their family, once you're in their chosen group, you're in. Like that's the real thing. We have a handful left, so we will keep moving on. Next up, we have determination. Yeah, determination is a power for pursuit, passion for pursuit, excuse me, leading you on a path of personal achievement. Yeah, this person's very, very determined. You are going to notice their goals and you're going to see them chase after it and you're going to see them accomplish it too. This person doesn't give up, I think, until they get what they want. And I definitely see them being the person that is going to be pursuing you initially. Potentially, too, it could be a little persistent until you kind of are like, all right, fine, yes, we'll go on a date. But then they, like I said, like I think they're going to plan that first date and they really want to impress you. Moving on to this is the whispers of love. You have here, have patience. Love is patient and kind always. Yeah, so I do think, like I said, you might be wanting to move the relationship faster at times than they are. So I think just remember, try not to rush things. Know that, they might be the person, we're running out of space here, so we'll just put that there. They are going to be that person that takes a little bit longer to let people in, to truly express the deep, emotions and feelings and thoughts that they have. But when they do, they mean it. They are 100% in, and they just kind of want to wait until they're 100% sure to do those things. And so, a little give and take there, in that. If you are someone who likes to move a little bit faster in this relationship, I think it is going to, again, you're going to have to maybe like slow down a little bit, but also this person might have to, at times speak up or express themselves a little bit sooner or more often, I would say, than typically they're used to. But I do think that there's going to be overall like a nice balance. I think you just might be the one having to slow down a little bit more than them, speeding up. But then for our last two, well, we'll pull some cards of time, but for your last two oracle cards here, we have respect and kindness. Ooh, I love too with this kindness card, that imagery. Oops, oh my goodness, of course, everything just starts moving around. I love this of giving the flower here in both cards. So yeah, I definitely think that this person is a very giving person. And I think too, at first, it might even be that they like to give like physically and like gifts and items. If they mess up, it's going to be like giving gifts to say, hey, I'm sorry, or, please forgive me, that kind of like expressiveness rather than words potentially. A little bit slower to give the heart, we'll say, or those deeper emotions or thoughts. But that doesn't mean that the person doesn't have it, and they're not going to give it to you. They definitely will. It's just, like I was saying, a little bit slower, a little bit, maybe not as much as you're originally used to, but very kind person. We'll put it right next to your first impressions. And then with respect to, I love this respect card. I love the imagery. And I think too that you will be this person's world. I love this imagery, and I think that's how they see you. Just this very like, you are everything. They love all of your uniqueness that you have. And at the end of the day, too, like no matter what's going on, this person has a lot of respect for you. So, regardless of what hardships you're going through, they're going through, the relationship might be going through, know that there is a really deep respect. I mean, you are, like I said, this person's world. We'll put this card here. Oh, I love that. Awesome. So let's go ahead. Like I said, we still have some cards of time to get to, and then we'll do the pendulum. And I thought it might be fun to shuffle on screen for these. So this pile here, we'll do group one soulmate, get a card for their sign. Leo. 5 weeks, 5 months, number 5. We will go ahead and we'll get a significant number for you and your soulmate for group one. Ooh, I like this one. Ooh, 10. Okay. 10 days, 10 weeks. The 10th, October potentially. All right, and then lastly, we will go ahead and get a day of the week that is significant to you and your soulmate for group one. Tuesday, you also have the number 3. Okay, so significant dates potentially the 5th, the 10th, the 3rd, May, October, March, 5 weeks, 5 months, 10 days, 10 weeks, 10 months. Tuesday, play around with it, have fun, but could be significant numbers. Their sign could be a Leo, you could be a Leo. Awesome. Well, let's go ahead. I call it my pendulum boards, but you'll see it's a cheap man's version of it. So I'll go ahead and get those out and we'll do your pendulum. I think that will conclude your soulmate reading. All right, so starting off, we will go ahead, use the pendulum here to do eye color. So I looked up the just most common ones. There was, I think, 1% was associated with other, so I just went with the 4 most popular: brown, blue, green, and hazel. All right, so for group one, soulmate. Color eyes will group one soulmate have? All right, feel like it's swinging heavy over to brown, between brown and hazel, but I don't feel like it's going more into brown territory. Let's go ahead and now move on to hair color. All right, and I know there are a million hair colors out there. Just went ahead, chose some of the most popular according to the internet, and then also had a section for other. So that could be if their hair is dyed, or potentially this is like natural colors. So let's go ahead and do group one soulmate. The color of their hair. All right, I feel like it is dark brown. Where that is swinging to for your soulmate. Awesome. So we have brown eyes with dark brown hair. Well, I hope you enjoyed your reading. Let me know what you thought in the comments, any suggestions, what you want to see next. And until next time. All right, so if you chose group two, then this is your reading for your soulmate. We'll start off with tarot. You have three of mirrors, or the three of swords. You have eight of roses, or eight of wands. The queen of flutes, queen of cups. You have the bachelor, or the emperor. And temperance, keep it chill. Love that you have Queen of Cups, Emperor, and Temperance in this reading. And I also think that potentially you or this other person is coming off of a breakup, or maybe they've been hurt before. And I think that at first there's some disconnect, or maybe like a misunderstanding, where you might notice that they do something and get a little guarded, or not fully wanting to trust in wanting to move forward. Kind of, you might see them and be like, oh, I know they're just looking for a good time. I know, this kind of person. I've met them before. But that's not fully the case. And once you do give into that trust, you see who this person truly is, and all the worries fade away. I also think that once things get going, this relationship will move quickly. Kind of like a snowball rolling down a hill. Some of that like momentum, right? So it really does move fast. I do think this person has nice boundaries, or understands boundaries. I also think they're very empathetic. And I think there's someone that they try not to let drama affect them once they've gotten through it. They process the situation, how they feel, they deal with it, and then they move on. However, I do think that this relationship will require a lot of trust. I'm getting, actually, for some it could be their job that requires a little bit more trust. Maybe they travel a lot, or they're just in certain situations that, some maybe couldn't handle this type of situation, but it works for the both of you. You've built up this level of trust both ways. And, I don't think it's an issue. I do think that there's just a little bit more trust that is going to be built up in this relationship. And for some, I'm getting it's because of the work that they do, the job that they have. Well, we have lots of oracle cards to get to as well, along with the pendulum. So let's go ahead. I'm going to move these cards up. Give me just a second. All right, so moving on, we have lots of oracle cards to get to. So they have Snake, Knowledge, Aleister Crowley, Challenges, and Chalice, Joy. Yeah, so I feel like this person likes to really push into new areas. They like to challenge the status quo. They do things their way, which I think can be a little bit of extra work on your relationship or, potentially on their end and your end, but that's just who they are. They can't help it. They like to be who they are. And I think this might rub some people the wrong way sometimes, but I do think that it comes from a place of that's just who they are. They are just, wanting to do things their way or have a genuinely like curiosity to things. They like to learn, like to kind of understand the reasoning behind things. And I also think this person is very, very smart. I think possible careers too. This person could be in some type of like entertainment industry, sales or marketing, even. And travel could be a really big part of their career too. They also have success, authentic, and relax. Okay, yeah. So this person's really good at what they do. However, I feel like they do require downtime to reset. I feel like if they don't, then it can be very, very, I want to say like extra exhausting for this person if they don't get this downtime, if they don't get, their time to decompress. They might take it a little bit, I want to say harder than someone else, but it affects them a little bit more than others. But yeah, this person is their authentic self. You know, they do use that in their life to move forward. I don't think they're ashamed of it. Even if, maybe in the past it's presented some challenges to them, I think they are at a point in your relationship where they feel truly accepted. I think that there is that trust, that love that's been developed in this relationship as well, to where they can fully be their authentic self. But I think they're just very, very compassionate as well. Next to Oracle cards, you have, or they have, I should say, the bee and pomegranate, productivity, and the raccoon and sycamore, curiosity. Yeah, so they really like, we'll put these here. They like moving. They like doing things. I feel like they can't sit still, even if that means can't sit still in their head. That they are constantly wanting to, what's the word I'm looking for? To just be moving, and I think they like to push back at times. Meaning there's someone who doesn't, that if someone tells them, hey, this is the way we do this, they're the type of person to ask why. Well, why do we do it that way? What if we do it a different way? They want to understand the reasoning behind things. And I think it can come off a little pushy to some people, but they're truly just curious and they do like exploring. And yeah, I think this person's very intellectual and very curious, very, wants to explore and use that to do things and do things differently. And moving right along, we have two more oracle cards. They have choice and prosperity. So not only do I think that this person is successful, I think this relationship is very prosperous too. I think together there's just a lot of like emotional, financial, but really like emotional connection growth. Does that make sense? Emotional growth together? I can't think of the phrase or the way I'm trying to phrase it, the words I'm trying to say right now, but I think there's a really nice I was going to say the relationship's very prosperous in all aspects of life. There we go. And I do almost get this feeling that this person has been through or is still going through things that could easily get other people down. However, I think there's someone that works hard to choose to not let it get to them, that they decide how they're going to feel now. They're like, this isn't going to, like, they keep it chill. They let it roll off their backs. If something affects them, they're like, hey, you know what? That could affect me. However, it's not serving a purpose for me. And so Okay, and it's not a video of mine if there isn't at least one cut from my dogs barking, but yeah, I think that they decide how they feel. We'll go put choice here. Alrighty, we are down to our last three oracle cards, and then we'll actually get some more for oracles of time. However, they have, yeah, control and get clear. So I think they pay attention to their body. I think they pay attention to their mind, the environments, and they take everything in and they take the time to listen to themselves. I think get drawn back to like that Queen of Cups, Emperor, and Temperance cards of having a nice balance of listening to others, listening to themselves, very intuitive, and they turn what it is that they're needing to process and get control of, and they turn it into like a routine, into more orderly, I think, of a way to move forward with it, to move through things, if that makes sense. But yeah, turning it into like a nice routine, or establishing boundaries and really using it. All right, these cards are all going to get covered. That's fine. We'll cover it all up in a second when we do the pendulum. And the last four whispers of healing. Love makes the difference. Love helps heal past hurts and provides a sense of security and self-worth. I love that with your Three of Mirrors card too. So let me go ahead and get the book on this. Here it is. All right. This is number 31. Okay, so this says, love is strong and can endure anything. If you trust love, everything else will fall into place. When there are challenges, it is important to keep your heart open. Healthy boundaries are an essential aspect of creating trust in a relationship. Yeah, a lot about trust here. You should be able to give freely from your heart to your partner's heart. Your partner, in turn, should be able to share, knowing you will treasure this mutual respect. Use kindness as a rudder in relationships to keep communication and feelings on course. Kindness is the value that allows both parties to feel understood and nurtured. It validates loving interactions. Keep kindness at the forefront of difficult conversations to keep content and anger in check. Oops, oh my gosh, and I just threw the book on the ground. Okay, cool. But yeah, I love that, and I do think that this is a really nice reminder too that there are going to be, I mean, it's a real relationship, right? There are going to be challenges. However, I think that's a nice reminder that there's a lot of trust that's going to be between you and this person, and that's going to allow you both to feel comfortable to share, to communicate things, and just kind of a nice reminder as well to keep, love and kindness at the forefront of everything, knowing that, hey, maybe there are some challenges, but, we're going to get through this together. Awesome. All right, so let's go ahead. We will use the cards of time. We'll pull 3 different piles I have set aside. This will be the sign that is significant. Group 2 soulmate. Oh, that one fell. Gemini. All right. 3 weeks, 3 months. Gemini could be their sign, could be your sign. And let's do next. All right. This is the day of the week. Tuesday. The group 1 also had Tuesday. All right, and let's do next a number that is significant to group 2 soulmate. This one. 1 day, 1 week. Could also be days, so 3. You have 3 twice. Could be a significant number. 1, it could be February, March, first day, third day, 31, 13. Play around with it. Have fun with these numbers, these days, these signs. Well, let's go ahead. We will get the pendulum out, and I think I called it like the cheap man's pendulum board. You'll see what I mean in a second, but I'll get it set up. Okay, so I went ahead and just did the 4 most popular eye colors according to the internet. I think there's like 1% in the world that was something different than these 4. However, we'll go ahead, use this, and see what color eyes your soulmate will have for group 2. I'm going to move this over so it can be in the center when I start. Group 2. All right, looks like it wants to hover mostly over blue. All right, let's go ahead and now get out the hair color chart. All right, and we have, again, according to Google, some of the most popular hair colors. I know there is a variety of shades within each one, and then some. This could be potentially the hair color when you meet them, or their natural hair color. In the center, do group 2 soulmate. Hair color for group 2 soulmate. Well, that's pretty fast. Went to, I feel like, a little bit more onto light brown or dark blonde, but potentially dark brown as well. I feel like it's almost 50-50 between the two. A little bit more swaying towards this. Wonderful. Well, I hope you enjoyed this reading. Let me know what your thoughts or comments down below, additional readings that you want to see. Any feedback, always love it as a new channel. And until next time. Okay, so if you chose a group 3, then this reading is for your soulmate. We will start off with tarot cards. So you have 8 of flutes or 8 of cups. You do have 6 of mirrors or 6 of swords, Knight of rings or pentacles, 7 of roses or 7 of wands, 2 of roses. You have 3 of flutes and 2 of flutes. You have a lot of tarot cards come up. Okay. So group 3. You know what it is? I think what I'm getting, this person has had some difficulties potentially to when you meet them. They're in this transition, but I think they are welcoming of that change. I think this person has really come into their own, and they might have had to start over in life. So potentially like a big change in a relationship, a past marriage, even potentially a big career change, but like some dramatic life switch. However, I feel like they've really come into that transition, they've embraced it, and now they're really looking ahead. And I think potentially too, they could have had a child in a previous relationship too when you meet them. Getting that for some of them. And there's someone who, I think they are someone who's really quick to form bonds. Kind of, you have the silver linings here. I think they're really quick to see the bright side of things, the good in people. However, I do think that can also lead to a little bit of drama, a little bit of pain, or that they can give too much too often. But I think the two of you two will share a lot of similarities in like hobbies or even potentially the same friend group. So for some, that could be how you meet them. I'm getting this person is quick to do things. I think they are quick to make decisions. Spur of the moments. That's like they're very like a very spur of the moment decision makers or wanting, like deciding on things. I think that's a good phrase for what I'm feeling with them. But we have also lots and lots of oracle cards. So let me readjust this and get those oracle cards up. Okay. All right. So we'll start off with some more oracle cards. They have wolf and runes, trust and magic. Yeah, I'm getting this person's very in tune. I think they're a little chaotic. like that spur of the moment energy that I'm getting, but I get it's a very safe and a very loving energy from them, if not just a tad chaotic. I think they know how to find their way and to take care of the ones that they love. I do think too, you have magic here, right? So they could also be into magical things or just be really in tune with like the energies. I think they could be really good at reading the room. In certain situations, I think there's someone who is able to read a room and adjust as need be to kind of match the energy, tone down, shift to, how they need to be for that specific situation. And for the next oracle cards, they have fulfillment and mystical. Okay, yeah. So this person could be into things, such as tarot or really just a very spiritual person too. Again, I'm just getting like really in tune is the phrase that wants to keep coming to mind. And whatever that spirituality or, that looks like to them, definitely potentially a visionary, someone who kind of like sees the bigger picture of things. But I really get that they're creating the life that they want, one that makes them happy, regardless of if it might be a little unconventional or if others, even like other close people, meaning even to potentially like parents in their situation, don't understand exactly what they're doing or what they're going after. I think that this person understands. I'm just getting like this bigger picture and how to go for it. Possible careers too. A lot of like getting a creative field. They do have the drama masks there, so could be an artist. Travel could be really heavy too for them. Or even too, I mean, you have a lot about like spirituality, mystical stuff, so it could be in that realm as well. But getting more oracle cards, we have plenty more to get through. Yeah, spirit and healing. I love too that it says the true self here. Spirit is a flow of insight into the true self. So I definitely think that, yeah, like being who they are is a very prominent for this reading. And even too, going back to the Eight of Flutes here, I think potentially that they've had some difficult paths in life, and that this has kind of brought about this healing has forced them to kind of readjust and reshift the way they look at things. It has brought about potentially like that spirituality or that new life path. Again, I see like a really big dramatic life change for them that has happened. And it's kind of almost like you wouldn't have recognized the person they were, 10, 15, however many years ago if you'd met them at that time, because they have seen so much change that you're like, whoa, you have really been like become a different person. But I think this person is a very, very like healthy, healed person, or still in the healing process, I should say. But yeah, I definitely think that they have, yeah, like I was saying, they weren't always like this, that they have discovered this. They have that late bloomers message there as well. Interesting. Okay, yeah, let's move on. Yeah, and next up for Woodland Wardens, they have the Snake and Fern starting over and the Finch and Peach romance. So yeah, definitely rebirth, realization of what they want. Again, I'm getting like a big change, potentially like they've switched career paths. They started to do something that was very drastic from what they were doing previously. Again, maybe like a big spirituality change, realization there, or change in life in general. But I definitely think that your relationship is going to help them kind of like wiggle out of that, like any past issues or any self doubt. And I mean, who doesn't love having a romance card come up with their soulmate? So very nice. I think like a romantic, deep relationship I'm getting, and a very open person too is what I'm getting from that. But we have more, so they're all going to get covered up at some point. But we'll do that for now. All right, and then getting towards the end of the cards here, they have sleep. So this could be as straightforward as this person loves sleep. They are easy to fall asleep. They are a deep sleeper. They take a lot of naps, but I also see this as being a person of someone who's a dreamer who has really great imagination to them. And then lastly, I guess we have actually a few more cards of time, but for your pre-pulled ones, we have new love. Embrace an opportunity for love in your work prospects or for spiritual growth. So much for spiritual growth. Yeah, so I think this person has just grown so much. And again, I'm getting that they are a different person than they were 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago, whatever that looks like, right? But I think too, they are very open and they like initiating interactions when they are out. I do think that your relationship helps pull them out of a rut when you meet them. But I see that there's someone who loves like new opportunities, right? Finding that silver lining, putting themselves out there. Again, it could be a little too much too often, but I think that they enjoy that and they want to share that. Put you here. Wonderful. Well, let's get some cards of time. We will start off with their sign, or I should say a sign that is significant to group 3 soulmate. Virgo, all right. 6 weeks, 6 months. Let's go ahead. We will do an important number for group 3 soulmate. 9. All right. 9 days, 9 weeks. And lastly, a day of the week that is significant for group 3 soulmate. Friday, all right. 6. Okay, so you have 6 twice here. Could be significant dates, potentially the 6th, the 9th. Nice. Let's see, May. I have to think about what month that was. Or September as well. Could be potential important dates and months. They could be a Virgo, you could be a Virgo. Yeah, but play around with this. Have fun, see if there are any significant dates that pop out for you or any significance with the numbers, the sign, the day of the week. We will go ahead and I've been calling it my cheap man's pendulum board that I've made. I'll get those pulled up and we will do eye color and hair color for your soulmate. Give me just 1 second. All right, so as I've told the other groups, I went online and pulled the top 4 most common eye colors. We will go ahead, I'm going to move this just slightly over so I can put this in the middle without any bumps into the camera. We will see for group 3's soulmate color eyes. All right, looks like it's leaning a little bit more into brown from where I'm standing. Also swing into hazel. And then let's pull open the hair color. All right, so I know there are a million different shades of hair color. We went ahead, just according to the internet, pulled the top ones out there. Have other sections, so this again could be their natural hair color, their hair color when you meet them. Let's go ahead, have that in the middle. Group 3 soulmates hair color. All right, looks like black is where it wants to hover over mostly. I'll go a little bit blonde. I'm gonna go with, I'm getting drawn a little bit more towards black. Confidential Light Blonde. We'll just put that in there. Awesome. Well, I hope that you enjoyed this reading. Let me know your thoughts or, comment below, as they say. Let me know what you want to see for a future reading. If you have any feedback, again, as a new channel, love that. Until next time, though.